Tell me a miracle in the Bible. Because in the Quran, yeah, we have how the embryo is formed in the womb.
You tell me how you...
In the Quran,
tell me how 14
what do you mean? How could the Prophet have known such a thing? This is a miracle in the Quran. For example, in the Quran, yeah.
I'm sorry, you're not answering the question. How is a man by nature, who by nature is a sinner, reconciled to a God who by nature is holy? You answer that one, and I'll begin to listen to you out in the other.
Okay, so what? So you believe that Jesus is God, right? Is that what you believe?
Manifested in the flesh, yes.
So you believe that God impregnated his own mother, come through dependent on his own mother. So God is dependent on a human.
No,
so is God dependent on a human?
No,
is God dependent on a human?
Oh, don't build them like that.
Is God dependent on a human?
Is he?
Does God need milk from a tin? Does he?
Does milk...
Does he need milk? Does he need to be dependent? Does God need his mother to change his nappy?
Does he? Yes or no? Can you answer this question?
It's a genuine question.
Why can't you answer a genuine question?
Does he? No, he doesn't. That's a man.
You see,
Finish!
it's like a semicircular brain. You won't listen, and you don't listen, and they finish up with their own thinking, they get wrapped up in their own thinking, and they won't even allow a man to think of the right answer. It's not good enough. It's not good enough when you don't give a man time to think. And anybody, I don't care who they are, whether they're Christian or not, if a man does not give you time to think, they're not from God. You should be able to think because God's given you a mind and He expects you to use it. You don't use it though.
I do use it. Quite clearly, I tell Muslim.
Answer.
Alhamdulillah.
In the Bible, it says...
Why do you say so much?
I do use it.
Repeating. Listen, I was raised Church of England. I do Church of England. And we shall pray once a day and come down and pray to God. And every time if you went to your Father on earth, then every time you talked to Him, you spoke in a special voice. And you went in a ritualistic sort of way to Him. Would He accept it? Well, if you kept at it, He'd say more than that, right? You think, right? Well, if your Father on earth would not accept it, why do people think God in heaven will accept it? People say Jesus that He was a true prophet of God. They say the only Jesus. Yeah. When He says about prayer, make not your prayers in public like the Pharisees and the hypocrites do, but do it in secret. Yet Islam teaches we should pray in public.
I think all those rituals are just to reinforce the idea that people say that God exists, whether or not they have any proof that He does. Why is that not good enough?
I like reality.
Well, the reality is people are sitting and standing and kneeling and singing and doing all these things.
They know not what they do.
That is what they do.
But they know not why they do it and what they do.
Well, they know why they're doing it. They're doing it because they believe that that's how they're communicating with God, but they have no proof or reason to.
I'm not going to do it. But if someone's come along here and slapped me across the face, would there be some response or reaction from it?
Of course.
Why?
Because I'm actually here to respond and I can actively engage.
You're a liar.
God does not actively engage.
But hold on, that's not true.
You can't just say that's not true.
Two things. You can't measure everything by yourself. But the reason why people can do and say things that are the most terrible and justify themselves because their God is dead. It's a piece of wood or stone. You're not listening. People don't listen.
Making the assumption that some people's God is dead, but your God is not. My point is that
I didn't say that. You're not listening again.
You just said that.
Just said that.
You just said that. Well, why may Allah strike me down right now?
I said your God is dead.
How is our God dead?
No, I said your God is dead.
You said right.
I said why people can do so terrible things and say terrible things because their God is dead. For simple. If I went and kicked the fence,
every God must be dead because every person, there are people in every religion that do terrible things, so every God must be dead. I mean, atheism.
You'll find they will be the worst.
Oh my God.